Good evening all. I thought I'd give you my portfolio update for the month via video this month rather than a WhatsApp group message. Basically, my main goal is to become an ISA millionaire by the time I'm 40, which gives me roughly 10 years. So first of all, I'm going to invest heavily into my lifetime ISA, and once that's filled, I'm going to invest into a normal stocks and shares ISA. With a lifetime ISA, I can invest £4,000 a year and get a £1,000 government bonus, which is why I'm going to invest into the lifetime ISA first. I'm using the Hargreaves Lansdowne platform, as I think it's a great platform and I enjoy it's easy to use app. As you can see, for the current financial year 2020-2021, I've fully invested my £4,000 into my ISA, lifetime ISA, and I'm just awaiting just another £375 government top up. This is the current total gain loss on my holdings that I currently hold. And last trading day, Friday, gain of £200, but it's just short-term volatility. It can go up and down any time. This portfolio, as it stands, at the start of the pandemic in March, I was fully in cash, and I was sitting on about a £600 loss since I started investing in December 2018 through just poor decisions, selling out, not having being fearful when stocks went down and stuff like that. I was just learning how to invest, really. So as it stood, I was stood on about £8,700 on a £600 loss in the ISA. Since then, I've topped it up £4,000 and had total bonuses, government bonuses of £1,700. So the total capital there was £14,400. As you can see, the current balance is currently £16,383.96, with pending LISA bonus of £375 awaiting, which should arrive at the end of the month, giving me a final balance of £16,758.96, which is a total return since March of £2,358.32, which is 16.38% return, which is my main aim is to get a 15% minimum return, rate of return. So I'm happy with that at the moment. Obviously, as you can see, it doesn't say 2,300 there. Obviously, there's a £600 loss at the start, and also it's only showing you my current gain loss on my current holdings. There was a few holdings I brought, in the March crash, as we'll call it, in the stock market, that I've sold and took my profits from, so it won't show that on the gain loss section of the app. Basically, I'd love to become an ISA millionaire, and this is how I'm going to achieve it. My strategy is a value strategy into what I think are growth stocks or potential growth stocks, not your Teslas and stuff like that, just things that I can see a lot of growth potential in the years to come. My first holding, my biggest holding, is Greggs, which is my most recent holding also. I currently brought that this month, 3 separate occasions. First of all, when the price dropped after its annual earnings report, and it dropped quite significantly due to it, basically losing a lot of revenue and profit from being closed during the lockdown. And as you can see, I've been holding it for 2 weeks and I'm already sitting on a £177 profit, which I'm happy with. At the moment, it's priced currently at £14.30 a share. I started buying in at £13.70. And again at 12 and again at 11.85. And I was willing to dump another £1,000 in the stock, but the price has gone back up. and I'll probably wait, and if it doesn't go back down, I'll just happy with my holding. I think a current margin of safety price on it would be about £9 a share, but I didn't want to miss out, so I started putting in at 13 and stockpiled it as it went down, and I was hoping to get it to go down to £9 and put it in, as I currently think that based on future cash flows that the share price is roughly about £18 a share. Second holding, my longest holding that I've had since the start when I started reinvesting my cash, is Legal and General. I started with £500, and I just kept it. I haven't sold any shares in this. I think I brought in at £1.80. It's currently at £2.26 a share. Been average price, I reckon I've been buying it in at about £2 a share, but it did go down to £1.33 a share, and I wish I'd invested a bit more heavily, hence why I started bigger with Greg's, because I could have made more money on Legal and General. Also, it's paid, if I'd brought in at them prices, it's paying an 11-12% yield. I'm currently sitting on about a 9% dividend yield, so that's about £200 a year dividends I'll be receiving from this stock, which is my only main dividend paying stock. And I'll be having another one somewhere, I think August the 8th it goes ex-div, and I'll be getting it at the end of September, which is another £50, which will be automatically reinvested into the stock. My third holding is Boohoo, which also had an event like Greg's about a month ago. There was a scandal about the supply chain and slavery in Leicester sweatshops. I'm hoping that Boohoo are looking into it and doing everything they can. They do have a report September, which I'll be looking at and deciding on whether I'll keep the holding. I brought into Boohoo at about 185 in March when it crashed and the stock price crashed. Didn't invest very heavily into it. I think about £500, and I sold out about 373 on a 100% profit, so I doubled my money basically. And then I had some stock limit orders on it, which when the price dropped to a certain level, it would buy me back into Boohoo. And then obviously with the event, the scandal, they automatically brought me back into Boohoo. Since it did drop to about £2.13 a share, I think that's what my limit order was. The price has currently gone back up to £2.87, so I'm sitting on a healthy 20% profit on this stock. But we'll see what the findings bring up in September of whether we're going to hold it long term or potentially sell out of this stock and put the money into something else. Third is JD, which is my second longest holding. I also made quite a big profit on JD at the start of the pandemic. I had about a 70% profit on that, but also top slice some of the profits off this and then reinvest it back in when the stores reopened and the future looked a bit more optimistic for the sports chain. I think it's a quality business with plenty of future growth, and I may invest more heavily into this in the future. Fundsmith Equity is my only fund. It's a global fund. I've chose to invest in a fund so that I can have some global exposure without having to invest in overseas single stocks basically, and just concentrate purely on UK growth quality stocks. Fundsmith is a great fund. I've listened to all his annual fund meetings, as you would call them, on YouTube, and I think he's a great fund manager, one of the greatest, and his returns over the last 10 years have proved it. And he's got a concentrated portfolio, and he concentrates on quality businesses. My next holding is Hargreaves Lansdown. I invested in this because I thought, whether we're in an up market or a down market, people are selling out or selling in, and they're going to, every trade, the broker's going to make a commission off it and make money off it. So And as it is, hundreds of people have piled their money into to all online platforms throughout this pandemic, mum and pop investors like myself, and they've done really well, as the last annual report showed. So hopefully, well, I wish I'd have invested more money. Really, I wish I'd invested £2,000 in this stock. As with a lot of them, JD, Boohoo, Legal in General. Hence why I've invested quite a bit more heavily in Greggs when the opportunity arose to invest in it at a margin of safety price. My next one, it is a fund, but it's not an equity fund. It's a gilt fund, which is a government bond fund, UK government bond. I've invested in this because it gives me a better rate than cash. I have currently got 30% cash or 28% cash in the portfolio for just for any opportunities, but I didn't want to leave it all in cash, so I've invested some into this, and as you can see, it gives you a better rate, and when the coupon pays, it just takes some of the money that you've invested off the table. My final holding is a micro cap firm on the AIM market called Distill, and it's a penny. It's only worth a penny. It's a penny a share. Well, currently it's one penny and 1.15 of a penny to buy in a share, and I'm holding 100,000 units. I brought into this stock. I read all the annual reports. It's a profitable company. Its revenues and profits are increasing every year. It's a quality business with good cash flows. It is a small company, and the company manufactures and supplies alcohol, spirits to supermarkets, sells them online. As it's basically, it's an easy to understand company. It's got a lot of brands, not as well known as the Smirnoffs and the Glenfiddichs and Jimmy Bean and Jack Daniels, but it has got some decent brands. Its main brand is Red Leg Spiced Rum, and it is currently the third best-selling UK rum or spiced rum, Jamaican spiced rum, on the Amazon. And the company, after its last annual report, has decided to invest heavily in its marketing. So hopefully they'll get more brand awareness out there. It's in all the major supermarkets: Asda, Sainsbury's, Tesco, and I just think the potential upside of this stock is far more than the downside. Downside, I lose £1,000. I can save that back in and put it back in, but it's got no debt. So I find that companies struggle to go bankrupt when they have no debt. And the potential upside is, it's a long-term holding, £1 a share, £2 a share, with 100,000 shares. That's potentially 100,000, 200,000 pound in that, which is I don't know, 100 bagger. It's 100 times my money. And if I want to become an ISA millionaire, these are the sort of stocks that I'm going to have to look for. Quality companies they're not being picked up by major investors at the moment. Institutional investors aren't investing in them. Funds aren't investing in them so much. So I think I found a great company, and only time will tell, hopefully. I would like to say, however, I should have said it at the start of the video, this isn't a recommendation. These are my opinions. I've done my own research into these stocks. I've brought them, and I could lose money on them, and I could make money on them, but that's what I'm going to say. It's not a recommendation. If you want to invest your money, seek financial help from a professional. So yeah, also I've got a limit. This is the only limit order I've got on it. On this still. So if the price goes to 0.77 of a penny, I'll be buying 130,000 more units of the stock, with a even bigger potential upside if it's successful. And you never know, one day it might be in a takeover bid. So this is my portfolio as it stands. I'm quite happy with it. It's quite balanced. Got some cash sitting in there in case of any future opportunities, in case of stock market crashes, where there'll be tons of opportunities. I'm going to go for the approach of my strategies to invest in quality companies at reasonable prices, well, hopefully with a margin of safety, rather than okayish companies at great prices, which could go bankrupt. Looking to invest for the long term, so I'm hopefully going to hold some of these for the next 10 years. I'm not going to say I'm not going to sell out of any of them, because sometimes the profits might just be too juicy, and the stock might have shot up to a ridiculous level that's unsustainable for its profits and earnings, and I might have to sell out. But stuff like Greggs and Legal in general, I don't really want to get JD Sports, Boohoo, but obviously Boohoo is on a 55 times multiple at the moment, so but I'm hoping to hold them all for the long term. That's the main thing, never sell. But if I have to sell, I will sell. I do prefer to top slice and just take some of the profits off the table, which gives me a bit of gratification, as we all love a bit of instant gratification. It just makes us feel a bit better. And that's basically my lifetime ISA portfolio. I hope you liked me doing the video this time rather than a picture and written form. I hope this is a bit more better explaining about my strategy and my portfolio and why I'm holding specific stocks. And yeah, I hope to do it again next month and show you movers and shakers, my biggest winners and my biggest losers for next month, and what I plan to do in the future, and how I'm going to invest, and if I'm going to invest in any new stocks, or if I'm going to invest more into currently owned stocks, or if I'm just going to sit tight in cash and wait for some opportunities to arise. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's been great talking to you all. Good evening, good night, peace out.